I think with a collection like this, we didn't always know what we were doing. We didn't articulate it that far. We would collect things and then set them out and look at them and say, oh, here are the connections that we subconsciously must have been thinking about, but hadn't really talked about. And then we talked about it.
How do John and I work as a team? And that is one of the most beautiful stories in all of these stories that we have. When John and I found each other, we realized that we were very much a team in looking at things.
Certainly at first, these were simply personal purchases, and we bought them to study them and look at them for ourselves, our own edification. But over time, we lent pieces to museums and exhibitions. We're good collaborators. She has an incredible visual memory, and I have more of a literary memory. And when we put this together, we remember things, we establish connections with an object, why someone did it, how they did it, and I'll sometimes pick out things that I like about something, and she'll share why she likes it in visual terms, the way it's made, the design of it, the craft of it. And that makes it a very interesting, enriching conversation that we have between ourselves and between ourselves and the work itself.
For me, and probably for nearly all of these artists, doing a self-portrait is finding out who you are today when you do this self-portrait. And who you are today may be a little different than who you are tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I've been very fortunate to be able to own some of the art where, as with the Kathy Kolowitz, I have that in my studio all the time. She's sitting there watching me, was a very strong, brave, intelligent woman, and I just like having her around. I feel as though I know her, and I'm so glad I met her.
The other thing that I find interesting, and that people, if they look closely at the work, they'll see that although this is a contemporary collection, where the oldest piece is maybe 1920, if they look really at the techniques and the subject matter, so many of these pieces are part of the classical tradition. David Hockney putting a bust of Picasso on a Roman column. But that's just a little piece of it. Keep looking. And you have Joanna Pellman with a self-portrait based on a painting of Fra Filippo Lippi, 15th century. Or you have Pat Steer. The title of her self-portrait is Self-Portrait as Medusa, Caravaggio's Medusa. That's 16th century. So Pat Steer is reaching back to the 16th century, to Caravaggio, and Caravaggio was reaching back to Greek mythology.
There are many incredible self-portraits here, a huge variety, but the Katya Kalowitz, for me, is at the center, and the whole collection revolves around it.
Before this exhibit was kind of planned and installed, my perception of self-portraits was certainly more limited. This exhibit has certainly opened my eyes to a broader spectrum of what a self-portrait is, what it means, how people interpret themselves, how they present themselves to the world. It seems to be, from the outside perspective, more of a deeper conversation happening between a visitor and a piece of art when they see a portrait in the show.
One thing I thought was interesting, just artists who choose to kind of return to self-portraiture a lot, and what that maybe says about them as an artist or what they're trying to achieve. And then some that they only made one or several, you know. And there's several examples of that in the collection because it was the only known self-portrait that this artist has done, or that she doesn't do it very often. So, yeah, that was kind of something interesting that I hadn't really thought about before really diving into this exhibition.
We would like this exhibition to go on to other venues so that it can be installed in different ways and shared with a different audience. Every city, every audience will see it in a different way. And it would give us great pleasure if that could happen.
You probably don't have my good side, though. No, I'm kidding.
I have issues.